The GT7 Pro was a very nice phone, and even though it was amongst the cheapest 8 elites at release, it was still the most expensive phone Realme's launched till that point. Now fast forward a few months, and here's the Realme GT7, the non-Pro version, and with this, Realme is back in familiar territory. Now different markets do have different launch prices, but when we compare the price difference in launch prices for a few models, that can help us guesstimate what price it could launch in another market, like you see here. So expect this phone to launch at around the 40,000 rupee mark in India. By the way, that could get lower because some rumors indicate the Indian version will be coming with a different chip, but I guess we'll know more when we know more. For now, today, let's unbox and take a look at what Realme's done for the GT7 in China. If this is your first time here, or in case you just can't remember, my name's Ash, you're watching C4 Retech, and let's get started. First, let's start with the box contents. There's this black insert, which contains a couple of leaflets and a solid colored soft case. Next up, there's the Realme GT7 itself. This time I ended up going for the blue, which again I think is the best looking SKU. The others are okay, but hey, I like the blue. Then there's a SIM tool, a USB Type-A to Type-C cable, and finally there's this 100-watt SuperVOOC charger. Now guys, at first glance the GT7, it looks very similar to the Pro model, but it is not. In fact, this is a very different phone. Look at the dimensions. It's about the same height, yes, but it is slightly narrower. In hand, you don't actually feel it being slimmer, but it actually is. It's 0.3mm slimmer. And the reason you don't feel it is because the screen on this one, it's flat, whereas the Pro had a curved display that made it feel slimmer than it actually was. Now, what you do feel immediately though once you pick this phone up is the fact that it's lighter by about 20 grams. Well, to be fair, the back here is fiberglass and the frame, it's now plastic. That's how Realme's managed to keep the weight as well as the cost down, I guess. But for what it's worth, they have given them a matte finish and both are very resistant to fingerprints. And also, despite the overall sleekness, Realme's increased the battery capacity to 7200 mAh here. And with that 100-watt charger, it still charges fast, 40% in 14 minutes, 100% in 50 minutes, nothing to complain about. Now note that the GT7, it retains that IP68, IP69 rating, and this camera array, while it might look familiar at first glance with the general shape and the orange deco surrounding it, it actually is smaller. And that's because this here, it's a dual camera setup. The 3x telephoto we got on the Pro, that's been cut. Now that said, the other two sensors, they're very similar. The primary here is Sony's IMX896. How does it differ from the IMX906 on the Pro? Hell if I know. I mean, this is also a 1x1.56 inch sensor that's paired with an optically stabilized f1.8 lens. It seems to perform similarly too, meaning it's very good under well-lit conditions. There's excellent detail, great dynamic range, no weird saturation boosts. Under low light, it's competent. It's not gonna be the best in segment or anything, but it does a fair job. The images are mostly clean, there's reasonably preserved highlights, the processing is good. It's just that Sony's sensor naming is all over the place. If you know the difference between these two sensors, leave a comment down below. Now video maxes out at 4K 60, and sadly, there is quite a bit of EIS jitter. Selfie video tops out at 1080 60, which I think is ridiculous. The selfies themselves did turn out okay. Now the secondary is an 8 megapixel sensor paired with an f2.2 ultra wide. This gets the job done, fits more into the frame, it's a little light on the details. It doesn't have autofocus though, so no support for macros. Okay, let's now move on from the optics and talk about the display. This time Realme is using a 6.8 inch AMOLED panel with a 1.5K resolution and a 144Hz refresh. While the refresh rate is higher, what we don't get is LTPO. Well yes, that is a feature cut. It is a little hard for me to care about display efficiency when this phone's packing in a 7200 mAh battery. What do you guys think? When the battery capacity is this high, do you really care about LTPO tech? Or do you still feel it should be included in a phone at around this price point? Let me know in the comments below. Now anyways, with this display, there are a few things I noted. Number one, it is a little high on saturation. Right from the moment I unboxed this phone, I could feel that, and especially when I was reading comics or watching videos, everything popped a little more. Now I did check, by default it does ship with Vivid, and swapping to Natural or Pro, it does help reduce that saturation, but this still doesn't feel like the most color accurate panel around. With brightness, this one comes with a higher claim than the Pro model, 6500 nits, but that's for HDR. Under manual mode, it performs similar to the Pro, but under high brightness mode, this one only output around 1900 nits. Only 1900 nits is not really a con because yes, it's technically lower than the Pro, but it's still plenty bright. Using this screen when you're outdoors under the midday sun, there should be no issues whatsoever. Now under low light, in case you're sensitive to OLED flicker, Realme does offer 4608Hz high frequency PWM dimming. And underneath this display, they're still providing an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. They've nailed the placement, and this one, you can set it up without even taking your finger off the scanner. I found that pretty cool. Okay, let's now talk about the biggest change that this phone brings with it. Instead of that Snapdragon 8 Elite on the Pro, here Realme's gone with the Dimensity 9400 Plus. Now this is still a flagship chip, MediaTek's flagship instead of Qualcomm's, so it is very close to the 8 Elite in performance. That said, there are two things to keep in mind. Number one, the GT7 Pro, it ran really hot, hitting over 50 degrees after a stress test. Now the GT7, it did the exact opposite. It ran at a cool 40 degrees after the same exact stress test. But before you pop the champagne, we get to number two. The stability, it's awful here. The GT7 Pro, it lost only about 30% of its peak performance, whereas this one, it lost about 70%. I mean, there is still enough horsepower here to play most games well, and with the day-to-day Realme UI continues to be fast and snappy, so no complaints there. But if you do want to get the most out of this phone, if you want to consistently play intensive games on it, then you're gonna have to resort to using a cooler like this. Now guys, I'm really getting tired of saying this line over and over again, because these days, regardless of the price segment, we are seeing more and more phones ship with like 50-40% stability, and to me, I find that super weird because just a few generations back, mid-rangers would all be at like 90-95% stability, and even flagships 70-80% wasn't uncommon. That was the common thing. But these days, 80-90%, it seems to be reserved for the gaming phones. What do you guys think about it? What do you think should be an acceptable stability score for a phone that's marketed as having a certain amount of performance? Let me know in the comments below. And also, one more thing, a few of you have been asking me for phone cooler recommendations. Now, me personally, I use this one. It's from Red Magic. I don't know if this is available in India or if it's available at a sensible price. The other one that you see in my videos, that's just me being lazy, because the Nubia one, it needs external power. That's a local Chinese cooler. It's not even that good, but it's got a battery built in. So when I'm demoing it, it's easier for me to throw that on and shoot. But anyways, if you have any experience with phone coolers in India, just let me know what is actually good, what's available. Maybe it might be helpful to other people who are asking that question. So if you can, leave a comment below that like button. Anyways, that's the Realme GT7. With the exception of throttling and the mediocre cameras, Realme actually seems to have done well here. This seems to be a very bang for your buck smartphone. If you're okay with the average optics and you aren't a gamer, or if you're willing to, put up with that external cooler if you are a gamer, well, this one, it seems to be good value. And being 35% cheaper than the Pro, I dare say it's better value than the Pro. And that's just my opinion. Now, you guys let me know what you think about the Realme GT7. So go ahead, leave a comment below that like button, and I guess thanks for watching. Ash out.